Welcome to another episode of the Conscious Reconstruction Podcast. I am the host with the most, aka Tony Melmore, in the building. I'm here with the one, the only, Ash in the motherfucking house.
Hi.
How you feeling? You just kind of nod your head.
People can't see?
No.
What do I feel? I feel like, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How was your weekend?
Something. Something.
I know.
Yep. I miss my vehicle. My car died. I'm just gonna say that. My car died and I miss her so much. I got this car right after, not right after, but when you have to rebuild your entire life all over again. And I got that car. Now it's gone. And not be bored because I can't just get up and run.
I was gonna say, yeah, I feel like you can't just go anywhere you want to now.
No, I gotta ask permission like a fucking child.
Well, yes.
I miss my baby.
That's sad. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
Well, I've had a busy weekend. I watched my little cousin. Mm-hmm. He's 9. That nigga is full of energy. I hung out with him every day after work. Mm-hmm. That nigga is tired. All I want to do is this show, so that way I can go to sleep. Mm-hmm. So that's all I need. It's a little bedtime. And I have to get up so early. It'd also be my fault because I won't be going to sleep till 2 o'clock in the morning. Mm. And then I'll be getting up at 7, 6:50. It's not doing what I want it to be doing.
Interesting times.
Yeah. But we have a wonderful topic today. Something I'm interested in, since you gave me a little preview about this gentleman that wants to protect his daughter.
Yeah.
So what was he saying? Since he's trying to protect her from men like him.
Not him. He was asking.
I mean, like him. I thought he said he was a player.
He was asking. It's a real popular video. I think his name Nick something. Damn, I should have wrote this down. It's a YouTube. It started as a TikTok, but then now he got his own YouTube. If you look it up, he said he was in the military, so he asked one of his man whore friends, "Hey, what do I have to do to keep away my daughter from men like you?" And the guy gave him 3 things. The only reason I'm asking this because your reform days. And I'm like, I think Tony don't like this one.
I'm interested to see what did he say? What were the 3 things that the guy said?
All right. The first thing that he said was, let me get to it.
Because I need to see how I feel about these things.
Now I'm curious. Now I just want to be like, We're gonna Antonio has to feel about this. But anyway, he said the first thing was, tell your daughter that you love her or someone else will.
Okay.
What do you think about that?
I mean,
of the woman that
I get what he's saying. You need to show your daughter love and what that means. Mm-hmm. But that's not gonna help.
What's not gonna help?
What's your experience? He was being nice.
What's your experience? No,
nothing. Nothing's going to help.
Nothing's going to help.
Not at all. Not a little bit, and that's my issue. Mm-hmm. There's literally nothing. Let me explain. With this, I'll go one by one. So with the "I love you" thing, it is one thing to have parental love and affection and know what it means to be valued. It's a wholly nother thing to have someone that you are enwrapped with and all you think about is them, that's not the same type of love. So now it's on that other person though, that you gotta hope that shit they not doing me dirty. There's nothing that you can do as a parent to stop her from falling in love with somebody else.
Okay.
What's gonna stop that? You gonna hope that because you showed her what it looks like, she gonna have the discernment at 16 to be thinking about that? No. It's not gonna happen. No, it's not. No,
I disagree.
You disagree? Why?
Because when you on the other end of not knowing, like, that masculine, it's different when a man gives you a compliment versus when your mother gives you a compliment. We all know this. A woman gonna compliment you up and down all day because she knows it's gonna make you feel good. But you kind of gotta earn some good feedback from a man, because y'all don't give it out like that unless y'all kind of really impressed, or you know how important it is to a kid. But like from your peers, it's really hard to get like a boost from a man, and from someone that didn't have that, it's like you start searching for it in other niggas. Like, even if it don't feel like that same type of love, I get it. Romantic love is different from parental love.
Wait, time out. What you're saying and what I think he's saying is, what are things that you can do that I guess make it harder to get into those situations? Because what you're saying is, if you had that like level of like connectivity with your father and recognize like from an earlier standpoint that, oh, I can get this attention from like male energy and be perceived in a certain way, that would only go as far as to let you know what it is. And sure, he could do it right, and so you could like the way that he does it. It's not gonna stop you from thinking dude over there is attractive, and you write in your notebook about him and you don't know shit about him. It's not based off of anything. And then y'all gonna just start talking, and then y'all gonna talk for 92 hours in a day.
Okay, now I see what you're saying. You think that just because like your dad is around to tell you that it's going to eliminate you dealing with fuck niggas?
No, it's not.
No, it's not. Of course, you're gonna have a bonehead or 3 or whatever, but
yeah. So y'all talking about can we make it harder? Yeah, you can make things harder, but is this going to eliminate you falling in love with a fuck nigga?
I don't think. Not at all. I don't think that's what he was talking about. I don't think it eliminates it.
That's what the guy is looking for. He said, "How can I stop my daughter from dealing with men like you?" The real answer is you can't. You can give her all the tools to make her as well informed and show her as much love and know what it looks like to have positive male interaction. You can do those things for her and give her as many of the tools that you can. But you know what a tool is? Useless as fuck unless you pick it up and use it.
This is true. I understand that, but we all know it's a clear difference between motherfuckers that had their dad and motherfuckers that didn't. So we can't say it's like not a big effect.
I don't think so.
I do. It's be something like, I don't know. How can I say this?
I've dated women that have had dads and women that have had not.
And then you're saying there's no big difference?
Not particularly. If it wasn't in my reform days. So no, clearly it wasn't. If I was still able to be there, then how could it have worked? If I'm the example of, all right, I'm not doing this shit now, but Tony was super on the shiz.
Right.
So if that's who I was, it's not something you're supposed to say, but as a man, like, you kind of like learn what you need to say, and like what buttons to push, and as I guess a player, it's something that you look to like learn. So now I learned how to make you feel valued and not approach you. Like, sure, you might avoid the aggressive players that don't have any like real life finesse to their game. Mm-hmm. But that's not going to stop you from falling for the dude that approaches you with like interest in your hobbies and shit like that. But it's still going to fuck all the other bitches behind your back. Mm-hmm. He's going to treat you decently and like a person and also fuck all the other women. It's not going to stop. So for me, it's like she's going to fall in love with these people because of their interactions and what they're showing her. It's not until the other shoe falls that women call these men that gave them amazing times and amazing experiences players, dogs, and fuck niggas. That's after the other shoe is falling. They were all these amazing, wonderful things when you first got in and you were dealing with them. So I feel like, yeah, you can tell her you love her, but he gonna tell her that too. And she gonna believe that.
You think that if he says it more often, never mind, you just gotta did your whole did the whole thing. It didn't matter.
You gonna, because once he say
believe it or not,
you gonna believe that nigga love you. And once you believe he love you, it's not gonna matter what no one else say because they not gonna understand now. You gonna have stories and see fiction that shows teenage love and parents that don't understand and it working out, and in your mind you gonna fantasize and fictionalize what this can be, and that's where you gonna live until the reality smack you in your face and your heart is broken. And you gotta either pick up the pieces, hopefully not be jaded, recognize, and then that's where a dad is useful, where he can say that that's not all men, and that's where you can look and say, hey, that's not how my father treats my mother, that's not how he treats me, that's how this person treated me, and can help you not become jaded and operate in a space of negativity or disrespect or ill intent. So I think that it can be useful, but I don't think that it's going to stop, not by just saying I love you, but maybe he has some other shit that I might agree with, but not that one.
Not that.
Not just saying I love you, because like it's dumb. No,
what are women looking for that you had provided that you was like, I know this is it. It works a majority of the time if I give them this one thing.
My attention.
Yeah. Is that like the number one across the board? Or nah?
I mean, for the most part, like, I'd say attention is probably the overarching thing. But I guess in a more specific way, my attention to detail. I'm going to like pay attention to you as a person. I recognize that most men don't do that for women. They pay attention to women as a body. I'm going to pay attention to you as into your interests, your hobbies, with your desires, and I'm going to genuinely try and like remind you and talk to you about them and like engage with you about them. And now that you feel comfortable, you have no problem spreading your legs for me, because you're very comfortable with me. It's probably the biggest thing that women say around me. I feel really comfortable with you. I know. It's the goal. Because once you're comfortable, your defenses come down. When you're uncomfortable, you're guarded, your arms are around your chest, you're not approachable in that area. Or you can have guys that are going to just try and steamroll it, and then you're like going along to like get along and not like cause an issue. And I'm not really into that type of like engaging with women. So nah, being comfortable and attention to detail. So yeah, attention.
Second thing, he said, tell your daughter the truth. It was important for you to know that only because you needed to know that if it's one person in the world, it's going to be him that's going to be honest with you.
I agree with that sentiment in some ways, but disagree. I think that you need to tell your daughter the truth. I don't think that that's going to they may not feel like you're the only place that is where they can get truth from. Mm-hmm. And that is, I think, a justifiable thought. Like, there are many places that truth can be obtained, knowledge can be garnered. And so I would want them to get truth from me, to know that this is something that you should. Where me and him diverge on, like, ideology is he's saying these things as if they are pillars that if you put all these things in place, you are now blocking somebody out from that. Mm-hmm. You telling her, like, you love her, you're giving her the truth, and we'll get to whatever the third one is. But I think that inside of this, you're providing her the truth is to show her an example of what it looks like to deal with someone that she should be dealing with. It's not going to prevent her from being fooled by lies. It's to give her the tools to know that, hey, oh, you're a liar, or you do these things consistently, and I don't want to deal with this. Or there's no accountability when you've lied, or you haven't kept your word, or there were circumstances that prevented, or we had an issue, or you were a human and you decided not to, and now we can come to the table and have some discourse about that. But none of those things are available if you as a father are also always lying to her, because now this is just par for the course. She just expects it. So no, you shouldn't just lie to her, but it's not going to prevent her from being lied to. It's just going to give her a different avenue to operate from, and not be like, well, yeah, I'm in lie. My dad lies to my mom all the time. If you always telling her a lie, you out and about, and you saying you doing this and you doing that, and your daughter and your children know, but your wife is none the wiser. The example you setting is, this is how you treat your woman. This is how a man treats me. He take care of the household. He take care of us, but he out doing what he want to do. So that's probably something that she might, accept, deal with. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't think having a father in the household is all. The father needs to be a good father. So it's like there's so many caveats to like having the father in the household. Like, what if the father is beating the shit out of women, and he got daughters, and now they grow up and they deal with niggas that beat the shit out of women?
Yes, that's gonna come par for the course, because that's a learned behavior. You don't know anything else but what you've been shown. But for me personally, what I saw is that, again, you go to your mom, she gonna tell you whatever bullshit she want to tell you, because that's what she knows. But usually, in my father's case, he told me the truth when I needed to hear it. And every time after that, I look for advice from him. I don't have to take everything from it, but at least it's a straight shot, because I know he's not a nice guy in that arena. I know he doesn't not so much care about how I feel, but I know feelings are gonna place a back burner to what I need to hear in that moment. And if you are in a situation where you really don't know where to run to, and you don't know who to talk to about something, that shit is really important. And I'm not saying it has to be the dad, but in an ideal society, wouldn't you want it to be him? I think
that it should be him, but I don't think that it should only be him. I guess my thing is, the dad isn't this like player repellent. Like, there's no configuration of a father that equals player repellent. Mm-hmm. And so I guess that's more of my point. Is like, there's nothing that, I can be a confidant and someone that's going to give you like what you need in terms of like the truth and honesty, and like be more in touch with reality than a mother would be. But that's not gonna mean that maybe as you grow, you don't find a book or two that gives you a different way about perspective, because sometimes the way that I say it might not necessarily click with you. I'm still giving you the information. I'm still trying to impart that wisdom, but the way that I'm imparting it might not necessarily completely sink in, where you get that same piece of information from somewhere else and you fully understand it now. Or maybe you're in a different space to now take in that information. I think that there's a lot of factors. And so I think that the father needs to be truthful and needs to have that open relationship with his daughter. But I, again, don't think that's going to stop the player from doing what he wants to do.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But like I said, you could probably minimize these things, or at least get through these obstacles a little bit quicker if you had the first man that you ever really loved in your life showing you a proper example of what it means to be a mature man. I'll say that much. Not a real man, but a mature man. And I don't know, because you usually go for the man that was modeled after you. That's what I've learned. Every nigga that I've ever cared about modeled my father in some shape or fashion. And mostly with they like emotional highs and lows, the back and forth. I want you and I don't want you. I want you and I don't want you. That was my kryptonite. I couldn't get enough of it. It wasn't so much that I was looking for attention. I didn't really need attention in that way. Not so much of it. I'm not saying I'm immune to it. But the emotional niggas had a stranglehold on me. And were they players? Probably. I don't think I've ever caught one in the act. But there was nothing I could really do to protect myself from that. But if I had a better example,
I don't think emotional niggas are always necessarily players.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying they players. And if they were, I never caught them in the act. I'm not saying that. But if I was shown a different type of man, I probably would have went after a different type of man. And regardless if you a player or not a player, you still gonna be attracted to what you saw growing up. And that's why I understand that. I don't think his intention was to be like, well, stop, because obviously you can't, your kids get a certain age, you can't tell them what to do. They're going to do it, no matter how great you are or how shitty you are. But I can damn sure say that it could have been better if you had a positive male role model, for the most part. Not a perfect man, but at least he got 70% right. But I digress. Anyway. I don't know if shit. I think I just wrote his points from the video. But anyway, he was saying that they had to be able to be honest with you. They got to be able to come with you with the stuff. How important do you think that is?
I mean, I think that's the same thing with as to being honest with them. Like, you need to have an open line of communication.
With their kid being honest with you, though.
Yeah, I think it needs to be an open line of communication. Like, that's both ways. Like, one-sided communication is not very productive. Like, yeah, I tell you stuff and I hope to impart wisdom on you, but if you don't like seem receptive and you're not like open to like talking to me and expressing things, then I don't really know what the fuck is going on, what you're really taking in, how you feel about anything, what I should say different, what I should tailor. So yeah, no, I need it to be like us being comfortable with each other and telling each other things.
So what would you say to women? Like, what would be the thing that you wish their dads taught them? Like, why even give this in part, or just women in general? What would you say to them? Like, hey, this is what you would do to avoid the past behavior. Nothing?
Not really. Like I said, like, I know women that grew up with siblings, brothers, had like mom in the house, dad in the house, no past like trauma, like very supportive family, big family, very inclusive, and they liked I intrigued them with my conversation because we used to do like mock podcasts, but they were all sex themed. So we weren't recording anything, but we were just like practicing conversation. And so I'm assuming when later we talked, that's what she said. That's what she's like, I used to be so excited and just interested in you. None of that was something her father could have like accounted for. Your daughter's natural feminine interest in a male. She likes him. She looked at him. He's been speaking, and she's decided, that package, I enjoy it. The end. Now, wherever that package goes is where it goes. It wasn't any harder to lie or finesse or manipulate a situation. Like, I didn't find any of those things more like challenging. It was just more par for the course. You just had a dad, okay.
So every woman's not the same, but they all pretty much got the same criteria, and there's nothing else a woman could do to prevent those things.
It's not that y'all got the same criteria. It's just that y'all all, and I would say on both sides, are willing to, usually, like, especially in the earlier stages, willing to be open to other people. And you're a lot less discerning, discriminatory, and like cautionary in that openness. That just leads to you running into a plethora of different type of people.
You think it needs to be the opposite?
No.
Maybe you should not. Maybe you should be a little bit more.
Not really.
Yeah.
I think that you need to have a stable father in your life, so you know that, okay, I've run into a couple of people that are like this, and you don't start to view like all men like that and then become jaded and become bitter, because that's what I think happens on both sides. I think that men run into a lot of, who haven't had fathers in their lives, run into a lot of women that aren't necessarily doing the things that their mother is doing, and what they see as like a strong woman and things like that. But she's doing a lot of those things because she had to, because she was forced to. That's not a unit of two people isn't, she wouldn't look like that. There'd probably be a lot more softness to her, a lot more like ease about the house and things like that. She might be more worried about peace and get into more of her flow of things, and he might be more of like the provider and this disciplinarian. But what you're looking for her is like, from women, is to be all things encompassing, be organized, be focused, be dedicated to something, because your mother was, but she had to be. Women are usually flighty and like to flip from idea to idea and usually look to a man for structure. If you don't know that about a woman, you're going to be really frustrated with all the women that you come across, and then become jaded and think that women are inconsiderate, indecisive, don't care, and are very cavalier. So I don't think that not having a father only affects women in a negative way towards relationships, because you lack that nuance. So you need a father that's going to provide that like other perspective and nuance balance of, all right, when she's in a mood or when she's has this like whimsical idea, I just kind of go with it because it's not that big of a deal to just go with it And sure, it's off of the beaten path of what we had planned to do, but it's not something that's like going to harm anything that we really have going on. But you might be completely averse to that if you've never seen that before.
Right. You think it's opposite, like the dad not being there? Is it more like you see niggas that's just they saw more some of more players that didn't have fathers around rather than ones that did? Or is it all just they just kind of chilling?
What do you mean?
Like if you had 3 niggas in a room right now and only 2 of them had a dad and one of them didn't, is the one that didn't have a dad more likely to be the player?
Wouldn't say that.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take my friend group. We know one. He's not. Mm-hmm. He's had a dad. Well, we know 2. One with a dad and one without. Neither one is.
Mm-hmm.
I could say another grouping of one with and one without. One grew up with his grandparents. He's not, and neither is the one that grew up with both his parents. I am, or was, but I don't think that was for lack of a dad. I think it started with an overreaction, and then kind of moved into an unchecked interest in women. Like, at the root of like me being a player is my interest in women. I had to learn, y'all. Be really like, and like as each one as an individual, and know what you like and your dislikes and how that like affects you and how that makes you feel. But that's rooted in like my interest in women. Like I love women, and so my overreaction to a woman doing something that I felt was like crossing a bound, and me being like, well, this is how all women behave. Or not even this is how all women behave. It was, so if this is how you want to play, then let's play. And I guess I've always kind of been like that. But then once I was playing, and then I kind of like enjoyed the like attention that I got from women. Again, back to attention. And not dealing with women in a consistent, and not even like a consistent manner. Like I wasn't worried about women throughout high school. Like I was like a gangster nerd. It was a very weird situation. I went after school and played Yu-Gi-Oh, but I hung out with like a weird like gang crew inside of like school hours. But I wasn't really like focused on like, oh, let me go and hang out with the chicks after school and be trying to like smash at them. I was also pretty oblivious at that time, so I didn't recognize if any chick was trying to like throw any energy at me. Which later on I realized that you had a chick that was consistently telling you, hey, my parents aren't home, you should come over. She was trying to fuck Tony. I just was like, oh yeah, that's cool. What you and your sister doing? Nigga, what is wrong with you? Your response is supposed to be, well, can I come over? But it never was, because I just didn't. Those traits just kept missing each other. She would say that shit for weeks. It'd be crazy. No, I'm just telling you, like, I just
nigga mad that you missed that shit.
Yeah, not at all, because my nigga ended up hitting her and getting her pregnant. So I said, you know, that was me missing out on that as well. I look at the good and the bad. But I just recognized I was super oblivious when I was younger. But I was also like, if I was focused on something when I was younger, that's what I was focused on. Like whatever I decide I'm focused on, that's what I'm focused on. So there would be women that I was be focused on, but it wasn't like I was super skilled in that regard either. also, once I kind of like started to like attract women, I was working with like a whole bunch of older niggas that was like just talking about their heyday, and that just like kind of shaped my operating manual. They was like giving like literally the blueprint. I was 18, I had just started fucking, and they was like, this is what you do. And that was like right after my little heart had been broken, because I was working nights. A chick was out late night kicking it with niggas, and her mom calling me talking about, you know where my daughter at? No, I don't. But I don't know why the fuck she's not at home where she's supposed to be either. So I will call you back. And so I take lunch early to pull up, and I see her with a whole bunch of niggas. Oh, this is what we doing. And so these niggas gave the game, and I just started running it up. And it was no looking back from there. It's like, and then I like I said, I enjoy women, and so my unchecked enjoyment of women is I find a woman that I'm really interested in, and then boom, now we're dating. But I still really enjoy women.
That part didn't stop.
And so other women are giving me interest. I'm giving them interest. And sometimes you don't want to give me, not even, you don't want to give me any energy. They are giving me a crazy amount of energy, and I just happen to like this. The first time I ever like did something like cheat, I called my friends and told them, I said, hey, I think I just cheated on my girl. They was like, what happened? So I was on the dance floor, we was dancing, she turned around, and we just started making out. That was so it was like, for me, it was just, I like women. So in the flow, I recognized that
this nigga was addicted.
I was just doing my shit. It was not good.
It was intoxicated. That's intoxication.
It was not good. Yeah, no, I know.
You know?
I recognize, yeah. And so at this stage, I don't like women in that same level of like that veracity where it's like, I'm gonna drive an hour and a half to hang out with you for maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours, and then drive an hour and a half back. So I've drove 3 hours for 2 hours of kicking with you time. Yeah, I smashed in that 2 hours of kicking time. But what are we doing?
This nigga drove, what was that, 3 hours of drive time?
Yeah.
In total.
Yeah.
He was so prepared.
I've literally done that multiple times. Pull up on a chick in a different city. Don't play. I will hop into a whip and pull up. Stop playing with me.
That's the raking.
I've been the pull up king. Like,
that's
on
the raking, yeah.
On all regards. You call me. It's something. I'm on my way. Just know that I'm on my way. Really means if I know where you're at, I'm about to pull up. Sometimes it's been for an argument because, oh, you think this shit is sweet. Let's have this conversation face to face. I'm on my way. And now I'm no longer responding to the message because I'm headed to you. No, I'm going to talk face to face because I don't want to do this. Because you keep hanging up or you keep talking crazy here, and I need to understand. So I'm on my way. That's a very toxic thing. Like I said, all of that was just toxic behavior. So it's just, I recognize that, like, that's not where I need to be at or what I should be doing. But yeah, I don't think any of those things were something that a dad could stop because those aren't any of the things that were displayed in the beginning. Like, you couldn't have, no one could predict that, oh, this nigga's gonna drive 3 hours today to go meet a chick in another city.
I'm not fully convinced, but I understand what you're saying. I feel like dads just teach you to be more aware of your fucking surroundings. I don't know if you can eliminate that.
They do teach you to be more. I think they do.
Definitely minimize a lot of shit. Like,
I don't think that they I don't know. Like,
I guess the way you put it is like they're just not important in that area. No, they don't matter. They matter,
but they don't matter in that way as in a prevention. They don't prevent shit. And so that's what my thing is. maybe now if they see a dude that's being disrespectful and some red flags pop up to him and he can nip it in the bud like, no, you can't see him, but then that gets tricky because now you made it a forbidden fruit and maybe she wants it more now. So you got to kind of tread lightly there. Maybe it's better to just kind of point out things to her if y'all have that type of relationship. So, hey, why does he keep doing that to you? And just make her look at things if y'all have that open relationship where you can be honest and she takes that opinion openly. And you haven't just been like immediately hostile where she thinks like, well, he's just shitting on her just to be shitting on him. But outside of that, if you at 17, let's say 19, you still live with your parents, but you out and about, you doing your own kind of grown thing, and you work with a nigga, and y'all just consistently working the same shifts and around each other. You like the way this nigga talk. He be making you laugh. Y'all be having a good time at work, and he get your number. Now y'all be talking on the phone. Y'all be texting. Y'all planning to take the next day off together. Because y'all just not going to work. Y'all about to kick it. Y'all having a day that y'all kicking it together. You into this nigga. You not worried about no one. You not taking this nigga to pass no one's fucking bar exam. He ain't passing no check. And as long as he keep passing the test that you throw out for him and make you feel good, he getting to wherever the fuck he want to. And so now it's in his hands to not fumble the bag. Now some niggas aren't good at that. And those are the ones that'll start doing fuck shit and you'll notice before y'all get too deep and you be like, I don't like that. This makes me feel weird. I don't like that. And if you have a father, those are probably things that you're going to recognize, hey, I'm not dealing with this. But if you don't get any of those, I don't like that. I've been considered one of the best boyfriends by a lot of women. That speaks nothing to like my actions or behavior outside of their purview. But lots of them had fathers and lots of them didn't.
I ain't gonna say that.
Like, I just don't understand. Like, I don't have anything else to say.
What? So what made you stop? What made you go, this isn't the life for me anymore? Was it the lack of interest or just like, I don't you know?
It doesn't produce the results that I want. I can... I can conjure a woman and enrapture her and get her into me, but if I maintain the other behaviors that I have, I don't. The thing that I wasn't good at is creating a level of security for a woman to feel secure in this.
Just because you're comfortable don't mean you're safe.
Exactly. But it makes you feel a lot better when you are comfortable. And so, but they didn't feel security with me. And so they didn't feel safe. They didn't feel like potentially longevity. And so if I'm looking for longevity and I want those things, I recognize that a lot of my behavior and how I was operating created like that instability, that inability for them to like move into a direction that I wanted them to move in. And now I could go about like working to create that and do the other as well, but that just seems like a wild amount of work.
Yeah.
Like, nope, not saying that. Yeah, that's it. It's just not worth it. It's just not worth any of the goals.
What the fuck did you just mumble?
I said, not saying that. Yeah, because it's just, like I said, it's just not, I'll say this, it's not worth any of the enjoyment that you have. Because I was going to say cheating is fun. But what I really mean is engaging with new people, that new energy, that new, that newness is all enticing. But while you're investing in that, there's like a level of lack that's happening over here. There's a level of like non-investment here. So And with that non-investment, you're not really building the most stable of foundations. Because you got to keep coming up with, like, not even necessarily excuses, but, like, creating a world where they feel comfortable while you're also, like, doing some of the most uncomfortable things. So you have to, like, maintain a certain level of, like, anonymity and, like, vacancy in your schedule, and, like, but not vacancy in your schedule where it seems like your time is taken and you're really busy. But so it's just a lot of, like, managing, like, emotions if you want to maintain that and, like, try and give a semblance of security. And I could just give you security. Like, I be really so the crazy thing is, like, the women that I date and shit like that, I really be fucking with them. Like, I don't date a woman, like, on, like, a whim. So if I'm really fucking with you, it's like, why are we not doing the things that we need to do? Like, they are attentive, they do the things that you want them to do in terms of, like, being focused on you and being helpful and understanding and shit like that, and, like, willing to be a team player. Yet you go smash random over there that you don't like. Her personality, she gonna speak after the incident happens, and you gonna be like, how can I leave? Before she says some more words.
Comes out of her face.
There's just gonna be more. I gotta get out of here.
That hole in her fucking face. That just says the words.
Is the worst thing in the world. It's just like a fucking, I don't know how to explain it. It's like, it's crazy. It's just like, shut the fuck up. But you can't say that either, because like, you're trying to maintain this for a long period of time. But then there's sometimes, and not even like always that, because sometimes there's the one that you like, and then that one is beefing with your main one now. And that shit's crazy.
Sounds like it.
I know it got real.
It sure did.
Or shit, a chick you not dating, but you want to be like official, and y'all rocking a certain type of way, is beefing with the chick that you fucking with at the current moment in time. And it's just like, can y'all not? Why y'all both being petty? And you trying to mitigate, tell them both to stop. And it's just, I've done all the things. Like, I've had the whole Twitter, like, the women fighting over Twitter, literally subbing each other, taking pictures of gifts and shit like that. It was messy.
But I bet it was exciting.
It wasn't. It was frustrating. I was mad at everybody.
He was mad at everybody.
I was so mad because up until that point, my shit had been immaculate. My women didn't act like that. My women know we don't do that. We don't misbehave in public.
It's always great until it isn't, right?
It was.
It's always great until it isn't.
I had a lot of, like, so that happened, whole public debacle. Mind you, I'm still fucking with both of them. And talking to the one, like, no, ain't nothing happened. The one that is the one that I fuck with a certain type of way, she know everything that's going on. And so I'm more frustrated with her because it's like, you know what it is. Why are you being messy? You know everything. Of all the people, you getting the truth. How's the one getting the truth being the messiest right now? But you in your feelings because you feel a certain type of way because of my actions. Because I didn't make you feel secure. And now you don't feel secure in your position. So now you are peacocking and letting it be known what your position is. That's causing conflict and strife in my house. I would like you not to do that, please. Please stop.
Oh my God.
Your position is that, but I need you not to do this right now. That didn't work. It all just eventually blew up in my face. And I stopped fucking with both of them. And by I stopped fucking with both of them, meaning they stopped fucking with me. It was when I lost all my women's. Like, everyone just stopped fucking with me all at the same time. It was just like, well, we done. It was all right, well, cool. But then you know who I ran into after that? A woman who had a daddy. And it was on and popping. She was the one that I was doing the podcast with before. And so now she got her opportunity and she went in there like swimwear. So it don't fucking matter. Because she was getting all the stories about Tony being who Tony was and still walked through that fucking door.
Right.
Like, so it's like, what are we saying? Like, I don't understand. Like, niggas gonna do what they want to do. That's the moral of the story. And so I'm out of here. I'm done. Y'all like, subscribe, comment, share, because that nigga tripping. Talk about that nigga can stop. He can't stop. He can help. He can teach. He can enrich her life and give her a lot of tools and guidance that will provide a way for her not to like feel like this is the only way men operate. This is the only way that men treat you. And I think that is priceless. But it ain't gonna stop shit. Bye.